first of all, Tim Walz is a complete moron to me. Lock them up and set an example.
You look at Trump's policies, consumer confidence down from the lowest point in 2 years.
Let's hop into another CNN panel as Republicans are truly furious at Tim Walz and the left for roasting Elon and Tesla as the stock continues to fall. So I thought we could take a moment and use it to show the sheer hypocrisy of it all. So take a second first, like the video, it's free, it helps us out a bunch, it gets the channel out to more people, and let's get right into the clips.
What's the difference between that and Tim Walz saying, I get a kick out of it?
First of all, Tim Walz is a complete moron to me. I have to be very honest, and I'm not surprised why the American people did not choose him. Nothing against the vice president. With that said, Elon Musk employs 80+ thousand Americans. Most of them are working class people. The implications of the stock, let's say this were to continue on for another year, so I'm just throwing out a hypothetical. Will the company at some point have to decrease its workplace? Most of those people, I would imagine, probably vote for Democrats, at least some of them. So now you're impacting people who likely share your worldview because you disagree with Elon Musk.
So much is wrong with this. First, the idea that Democrats are like pulling the strings on Tesla stock to affect their voters is hilarious. The American people are rejecting Tesla because of Elon's shitty ideas and Tesla's shitty cars. Democrats are just roasting him for this. That's it. Second is the sheer hypocrisy. These people cheer on Republicans slashing federal jobs, despite 1 in 3 of those being veterans. They were chanting "Go woke, go broke" at Target and other pro-trans corporations just a year or two ago. Are we acting like these things don't exist? But now all of a sudden it's, how dare you pray for the downfall of an American company that provides jobs, and it's all just fake moral high ground cry bully hogwash. And quickly, Walz and Harris on 100 days made an election close when Trump had 3 years. It was unprecedented. They still made it close, and to the point that they failed. It had nothing to do with Walz or his policies. He's also a super popular governor. He's won his elections. It's not being rejected. If anything, I think it's doing pretty well considering the odds against you.
Destroying public property, there is no place for that. I agree with Kevin. Lock them up and set an example that this is not what we're going to tolerate in this country.
Obviously, the violence is completely unacceptable, and these people will go to jail. I mean, you can't burn a dealership and not get caught eventually and go to jail. But it is, again, the broader question here about has it crossed the line when people are sort of rooting for the failure of a company?
Yeah, okay, few things here as well. The Republicans said, if they destroy buildings or do violence, well, they should be locked up then. Okay, why not hold that same standard for the January 6th rioters then? Especially the ones who attack cops, who are now walking the streets free. Why does their party cheer the release, support, and defend it? But how dare you attack the billionaire that's bankrolling the Trump presidency? That, of course, is where the line should be drawn. And the important part to note here, none of the violence is being done by Democrats or the left. There is no evidence of coordinated attacks from the left on Tesla. It's American people who are upset at Elon and his attacks on Social Security and Medicaid and his Nazi salutes, taking it out on his companies. And while I do think if you cause physical harm, if you cause physical damage, obviously you deserve legal punishment, I also can't say I blame them. When you prop people up like kings, when you give them king-like power and you make it seem like a king, there is no way to stop them, what else do you think people will do? What do you think regicide is? Where do you think it comes from?
If it's not about politics, he seems to think that it is, because he's saying, oh, I'm going to use my platform as the commerce secretary to tell people how to buy and sell stocks.
Well, Howard's actually a private sector guy. He's well known.
I get that. He's got a government job now.
You know, and there's merit to maybe having somebody that worked on Wall Street for that long in that position. But at the end of the day, when people say, oh, Tesla's down because it's a political problem, I think it's a market issue, and if it has great performance and they deliver cars and they make money, the stock will go back up like every tech stock. What about Boeing? That's even a bigger piece of crap.
Let me ask you, Kevin, because you're a business guy. You talk to all these business folks. Be honest. I mean, you look at Trump's policies, consumer confidence down from the lowest point in 2 years. One day tariffs, the other day not tariffs. One day someone's cutting something. I mean, aren't you hearing honestly that there's uncertainty in the business world?
Yes. Look, it's a really simple principle. No, the market going down a few points or whatever isn't a market crash. It does suck for people, don't get me wrong. But when the point to highlight on is when it's specifically going down in response to policy of a president, and then when it becomes volatile because of the inconsistency of the positions of the president, it's indicative of poor economic policy, at least for business, which affects workers. But what's crazy is the government going out of its way to try and prop Tesla up. Trump's commerce secretary saying, go buy Tesla stock. Trump marching Elon out for a commercial to help his company. This is the government picking winners or losers in the private sector, something conservatives fundamentally are supposed to be against or pretended that they were against. And it's also just ripe for corruption. But hey, I mean, when it's your side winning, and why not allow it? That seems to be the MAGA worldview on things like this.